time. Alright you guys, so this is my newest version of the Powerbond Cyber Dragon OTK. This is going to be like my take on the deck. This is going to be me reanalyzing the Powerbond OTK. It still plays 3 Powerbond and all that stuff, of course. But what I did is I just kind of like looked at Cyber Dragons and looked at the Powerbond OTK, you know, the Powerbond OTK version of Cyber Dragons, and I kind of went down to my roots, went back to my roots, and I just kind of looked at it and I was like, look, if Grin Maju, if that deck can do things in the current meta game and stuff, then why can't Cyber Dragons? Like, Cyber Dragons, I mean, can out just about anything, and that's something that I'm going to talk about, you know, throughout the video, you know, just through both Chimera techs and all that stuff. I mean, like, the deck can out just about anything, and I feel like this is a really great going second deck, even without evenly matched and all that stuff. Like, you don't even need it, guys. Like, you don't need it. It would be great to have, don't get me wrong. Evenly matched is a fantastic card, but the deck doesn't need it. When you have 2 Chimera techs and Cyber Dragons, Powerbond, and all that stuff, I mean, and main decked Kaijus and all that, you don't need evenly matched. But like I said, I worked really hard on revamping and redesigning this deck and making it an OTK deck and making it win going second, all that stuff. I really hope that you guys enjoy it, so without any further ado, let's get you guys winning going second every single time. So this deck profile is going to start off very obvious. This is a Cyber Dragon deck, so you play 3 copies of Cyber Dragon and 3 copies of your best Cyber Dragon monster, your core, which searches your search card and gets and special summons a copy of Cyber Dragon from your deck. But then you play 3 copies of Dry because this is the Powerbond version of Cyber Dragons. You want that OTK, you need names for your Cyber Dragon fusions, like your Chimera Tech, you know, Rampage Dragon. You want to get that out, you want to win with that. That is your main win condition of the deck. So you want to have all your Cyber Dragon names in your deck, like all the best ones, so that when you draw that Powerbond, you win. So, I mean, that's why you play 3 Dry. Why I don't play 3 Dry in the other build is because of its downside. You know, the turn that you activate its effect, you can only summon machines, and in the other version of Cyber Dragons, I'm playing Brilliant Fusion, and Seraphonite is a fairy, I believe. Yeah, a fairy and not a machine, so that would be why I cut Dry from the other version of the deck. For you guys, that, I mean, I thought that that was pretty obvious, but some of you guys were asking, so that is why I cut Dry from the other version of the deck. But we play 3 Galaxy Soldiers because, you know, you still want to make rank 5s in this deck. That is your other win condition if you do not draw the Powerbond, you know, for if you just kind of, yeah, basically if you don't draw Powerbond or your Kaijus, or, you know, basically if you don't draw any of your standard going second plays with Cyber Dragons, you know, going into Chimera Tech, you know, any of your Chimera Techs, you know, whether you're Contact Fusing or fusing or Powerbond fusing, if you don't have any of that, your other way that you make plays is by making rank 5s, and the Galaxy Soldier is fantastic at making rank 5s, plus it gets a Cyber Dragon in your graveyard for Cyber Repair Plans. It's just a really good card. And going second, I really still like Cosmic Compass. That would be a Toon card then. Comic Compass. No, Cosmic Compass. So, like, I like Cosmic Compass a lot because it generates tokens, and like I said in the last Cyber Dragon deck profile, if you guys can make this like some sort of, you know, Firewall Dragon, a Borreload, you know, spam, something like that, then go for it. You know, with this card, this is a fantastic card, but what I use this card for is to just generate materials for Link monsters to be able to push more. That's all I use this card for, except I also use this card with Machine Duplication to go into Princess Sprite and use Princess Sprite's effect to try to, you know, dig into Powerbond or dig into Desires or dig into, you know, just, you know, instant fusion, like some kind of spell to, you know, keep going. That is what I use Cosmic Compass for, and it's fantastic for it. I really like this card going second. It's a really great card. And then for your Kaiju package, I just play 2 Jizz and then 1 Gamma Seal because it's like I feel like this is the best ratio. I mean, it is and it isn't. Okay, like sometimes I like to play more Kaijus, like 1 more Kaiju, I should say, and sometimes I just, you know, play 3. It just really depends. But how I see it is. Like, how I see this is, like, I needed room in this version of the deck. I was strapped for room, and so I cut the Kamungus, and I like this. Just don't ever draw the Gamma Seal with the Kaiju Slumber. Don't ever do that because that creates a dead card in your hand with Slumber. Which Slumber, even if you do draw it with the Gamma Seal, it's not completely dead because you can always set the Slumber and hope it gets destroyed, so you can banish the Slumber, you know, next turn and search for Jizakura. So it's not completely dead. But I will say, like, your most dead hand in the deck basically is if you draw this with the Slumber. And outside of that, though, I mean, that never happens, and I've never had it happen to me, but I just know, like, looking at this deck, I mean, I built it, I just know that you know, if you draw those two, it's just terrible. So don't do it. So we have the Gofu because, you know, this is a one card play. It's a one card decode talker. It's really good. I mean, it's a one card decode talker. Right? I shouldn't have to explain that too much more. And then Maxi, because this is a going second deck, and being able to draw as many cards as possible, being able to dig into and try to get into that power bond and stuff to OTK your opponent. It's just, it's so good. It's too good. Maxi is broken, guys. It's so broken in this deck. And because this is the Power Bond OTK version of Cyber Dragons, you have to play your 3 Power Bond. Duh. If you wanna see this thing, this is your main win condition, like I said earlier. Your secondary win condition is using like Cosmic Compass and Galaxy Soldiers and whatever else. You know what I mean? Basically, like your main win condition is to draw this with 2 Cyber Dragons and just win. I mean, obviously. But your other win condition is to be able to get out of decode and rank 5 your way into an OTK, or be able to rank 5 your way into breaking your opponent's board to stay alive, or Chimera Tech them, you know, like Contact Fuse, you know, stuff like that. Like, and I'll try to demonstrate that. I will do some test hands. I mean, I can't really, this is a going second deck. I mean, I can like simulate, you know, my opponent having monsters, I guess, but I'll show you guys. But yeah, 3 Power Bond, I mean, it doubles the attack of your monster. You get a Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon with 4200 attack that can attack 3 times. That is what you get out of this card. So I would say it's a pretty good card. And then you have 3 Pot of Desires, because you want to dig into this thing. Like I said, you run 3 of this so you could try to draw into it, and you run, I mean, the best draw card in the game right now to try to get into it. I mean, look, it's kind of a high risk, high reward situation. You don't, obviously, you don't want to banish all of your Power Bonds, but like, how else are you going to try to draw into them? I mean, this is the draw card we got. This is the draw card we got. So we have Machine Duplication, and Machine Duplication is like, you use it with Cosmic Compass, like I said, but like Machine Duplication is mainly around, you know, for your Cyber Dragon core, because Cyber Dragon core gets, you know, with Machine Duplication gets you 2 more Cyber Dragons on the field, which, you know, obviously gets you enough Cyber Dragons for Power Bond, but it also enables you rank 5 plays, like your core into Machine Duplication, like, you know, getting a search for your Cyber Repair Plants, and then having that Machine Duplication, that's still like probably the strongest play in the deck. It really is. It's super, super strong. And then I still play 3 Instant Fusions because I actually play Instant Fusion for a few different reasons, okay? And this is something I really wanted to emphasize in this deck profile. You play 2 different Instant Fusion targets. One, of course, being, you know, the Panzer Dragon that you always play. You guys have all seen Panzer Dragon before. At least you probably have seen it, you know, 100 different times in my deck profiles. Like, so you play. Actually, I'll get into it in the extra deck. But like, long story short, you know, you do play 3 Instant Fusion targets. The other being here. Let me just get it out. So like your other Instant Fusion target is Parapsychroid. So you play technically 3 Instant Fusion targets, and you play 2 Power Bond targets. So I only play actually one of these, and I play 3 Instant Fusion targets. But the thing is, with Power Bond, you also go into Parapsychroid, because Parapsychroid only requires 2 machine type monsters with the same name, and this gets up to 3200 off of Power Bond, and it can attack directly. So the way I see it is, you're probably only going to resolve 1 Power Bond per duel anyways. So like, because games go by fast, so you draw into this, and depending on your situation, you Power Bond into one of these 2. Okay, you Power Bond into one of these 2 up with your Cyber Dragons, or, you know, you could Power Bond into this thing off of 2 Galaxy Soldiers, or off of 2 Jizukiros. Just 2 machines with the same name, right? 2 machines with the same name, and you Power Bond into this thing, and you get 3200 direct. Plus, it's a level 5. You can use your Power Bond to make, you know, to go into this as a level 5, and then, you know, use your other cards in your hand, like, you know, like a Galaxy Soldier, for example, to make a rank 5 to go into Nova, for example. You can actually use that, you know, to combo to, you know, with I don't know how else to explain it. Like, you know, this gets you to a level 5 or a different level 5, or it gets you into, I mean, it gets you into an OTK with this level 5, or it gets you into this level 5, you know, which can be used to combo or to, you know, finish your opponent off. And then you have your other Instant Fusion targets, which is Panzer Dragon, which is a light machine that you can use to go into Nova. You go into Pleiades with it because it is a light level 5, but you can also let this die off a Power Bond to destroy a card. So this is like your spell trap. Like, this kind of is like your spot removal. That's another reason why you play 3 Instant Fusion. Plus, you really want to see it. It does further your combos. But and then you know, furthering like the Instant Fusion, I guess, toolbox, I would say, is Raijin, because this is like a Book of Moon. Like, you bring this out going second, and being able to book your opponent's monster, or like, you know, be able to bait something out, It's really, really good. So basically, long story short, between everything, I tried to make this the perfect going second deck, at least as perfect as I could. So I hope that that made sense. If it doesn't, I will be going over this again when I get to all of the different, you know, extra deck monsters. So yeah, 3 Instant Fusion I think is perfect, and then 2 Cyber Repair Plant, because 3 is kind of too much. Like, I like 3 a lot, but like, let's put it this way: if I was at 39 cards right now with Upstart, I would add the 3rd Cyber Repair Plant back. Let's put it that way, or I'd put a Cyber Elton in it or something. Like, there's always like a card that I want to play that I'm just like short on in Cyber Dragons, but you have to sacrifice for room. I mean, you just kind of have to. But like, Cyber Repair Plant is it's just a really good card, and like you search it off a core anyways, and if you draw it and you don't have a Power Bond, not Power Bond, but if you draw this and you don't have a Cyber Dragon in your graveyard, it kind of sucks. But it's just a really good card, and plus this puts Cyber Dragons back into your deck to be, you know, reused for machine duplication. This puts you know, your extra deck monsters like an Infinity, for example, back into your extra deck. I mean, it's just a really, really good card, guys. Or an Instant Fusion target back into your extra deck. It's an amazing card. For your destruction, though, since this is a going second deck and a hardcore going second deck, Raigeki Dark Hole Slumber, your destruction cards, like I said, you don't need evenly matched that much. You have these, and like I said before, though, don't draw Slumber with Game of Steel and you'll be just fine. You will be just fine. And plus, a lot of the times you banish things. That's another good thing about Power Bond, is a lot of times, like, you'll banish cards that you don't want to draw, yeah, like, and then draw into cards that you do want to draw. Pot of Desires is just a really good card. It's just a really, really great card. I like Pot of Desires a lot. I just think that Pot of Desires is completely necessary, especially in an OTK deck. Like, if you're trying to dig for your pieces to be able to OTK, what other cards do you have? I mean, you have to be able to dig. I mean, like, Pot of Desires is just where it's at. And then I still play Reasoning, because this is like my spicy tech that I've played in this deck for a long time. Now. It's because your levels are all over the place, and getting it, like, I always get a free Jizakura. Like, off this card, like, every time I activate this card, I'm not even kidding, I hit core Jizakura. Like, I always get what I want off this card. It's insane. Like, it's unreal the luck I have with this deck. But like, Foolish Burial, so like, you play this going second, because you put core in the graveyard. It's like playing a 4th core. Like, treat this as playing like a 4th copy of Cyber Dragon core, because what you do is you put this in the graveyard, then banish your core, then go into Cyber Dragon, or like it's a 4th copy of Cyber Dragon or whatever. This is whatever you want it to be off a core. It's like really great. And then for the 40th card in the main deck, Upstart Goblin, because it's the other really good draw card outside of Pot of Desires, and you don't care about giving your opponent 1,000 life points, because I mean, this is an OTK deck. Like I said, Rampage Dragon 4,200 3 times. Really, really broken. Fantastic card. Let's get into the extra deck. So to start the extra deck off, you play 2 Novas, because it's the best card in the extra deck. This summons Cyber Dragons from your graveyard, and OTKs, because you can banish a Cyber Dragon from your hand or field and double this guy's attack. And it floats. Like, if this thing gets solemned, if this thing gets destroyed, it floats out into a fusion monster, a machine fusion monster. It's a really, really good card. And plus, like, you know, this floats out into your instant fusion targets, which are level 5s, so you can kind of keep rolling. You see where I'm going with this? Like, how the fusions between Instant Fusion, Power Bond, and Nova. That's actually, I forgot to mention it with Nova. Yeah, between like Instant Fusion, Power Bond, and Nova, like all of your little fusion targets, like, they kind of just all like blend together. It's really, really cool. So then you play 2 Infinity to slap on your Novas, because I mean, it's Infinity, it negates anything, it sucks up anything. It's like Thousand Eyes Restrict meets I don't know, Breakthrough Skill, or Divine. Oh no, Solemn Strike. Solemn Strike meets Thousand Eyes Restrict. That's Cyber Dragon Infinity. And then you play Pleiades still, because, you know, light level 5s, and being able to like kaiju your opponent. This is a move I've done a million times. You guys have seen me do this. You kaiju your opponent, and you make Pleiades, and then you bounce the kaiju back to your hand, and then you kaiju them again. It's like really, really, really funny. And then for the last Xyz monster, I just play you know, Princess Sprite once again to go into off of the Cosmic Compass. It helps you dig. Like, it just kind of gets you there. Like, you're getting that extra spell to, you know, be able to push more, to be able to combo more, or just, you know, getting that Power Bond to be able to OTK. Like, Princess Sprite just kind of gets you there, and I've absolutely fallen in love with this card in this deck. I really have. Like, I really like this card. So for the fusions, though, you play, like, I've already brought all these up earlier. So you play your 1 win condition, your Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon once again. This thing comes out, it pops your opponent's back row, you send Cyber Dragons from your deck to the graveyard, and you gain more attacks. Like, and this thing gets to 4,200 attack off a Power Bond. Fantastic card, wonderful card, not to mention it is a level 5, so if this thing is made useless somehow, you can still rank 5 with this thing. This card is amazing. Like, when they made this card, they knew exactly what they were doing. Like, they knew exactly what they were doing. Like, it dumps Cyber Dragon Core to the grave and everything, guys. It's insane. And plus, you could dump in things like, you know, Electromagnetic Turtle or whatever you want off of this. It's great. So then your other Power Bond target, just Parasicroid, because like I said, realistically, you're only going to resolve one Power Bond in a duel, okay? I mean, even if you draw 2 of it, that means like every other card you draw has to be cards you can use to, you know, as fusion material. That's what that means. So, and that's just really unlikely to happen. So since that's really unlikely to happen, you just need to, you know, play the max out Power Bond so you draw it, and then just play fewer targets so that when you do draw it, you know, you're not like starved for room if you draw like other cards with it that you know that you can't use the Power Bond. You see what I mean. All right, so anyways, Panzer Dragon. So Panzer Dragon and Raijin have already explained these. Panzer Dragon's your best Insta Fusion target. I would say this is your second best, and then like this is like your third best. But like it's just really good. Sometimes though you would ever like sometimes will have already burned a Panzer to go into Nova, and I'll need to make like another one or something. And or if I already have burned the Panzer to go into Pleiades, and then like need an extra Insta Fusion target, and it's fine because I'll just go into Psychroid and I still have a Power Bond target in the extra deck. Like it's completely fine. Like I said, you're only going to resolve Power Bond once usually. I mean, in an intense grind game, you know, which is rare these days, but in an intense grind game, like it is possible to resolve it more times. But I'm just saying, like for the most part, you just don't. So Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. You use this to out Masterpiece and stuff, like to extend your combo after Masterpiece, because what you do is you Jizakiryu your opponent, and then you summon a Cyber Dragon, and then you just kind of like use the Jizakiryu and the Cyber Dragon to go into Chimera Tech. So yeah, that's what you use that for. And then for Mega Fleet Dragon, this gets rid of anything in the extra deck monster zone. So summon Cyber Dragon and then contact fuse into this. So like that's what I was explaining earlier. Between your Chimera Techs, like you're fine as far as like outing stuff and, you know, like beating over things and just, you know, outing your opponent's board. Like Cyber Dragons are a fantastic going second deck. They really, really are. And then for the rest of the extra deck, 2 Proxy Dragons and a Decode Talker, because, you know, Link monsters, you got to be able to open up those zones. So that is the entire extra deck, and I'm really, really happy with it. I think I've got this extra deck down pat, but like I was saying earlier, off of Cosmic Compass, there are several opportunities to be able to make Borreload and all that stuff, and if you guys do want to make Borreload, you can easily cut, you know, whatever you want for Borreload. This is just how I play the deck. Okay, this side deck, though, might be the most interesting thing about the entire deck profile, though. I'm not even kidding. So everything else, I've just kind of, like, if anything, I've just kind of tightened going second Cyber Dragons. That's all I've done. I didn't really change the deck all that much. I just kind of like tightened the card choices, I feel like. I don't know. But what I did to the side deck is more or less the same thing, except for I kind of got back to my roots, you know, like with Cyber Dragons. I don't know how else to explain it. I just kind of got back to my roots. So going first, though, so Cyber Dragons, especially this deck, is terrible at going first. So what do? You put in cards that help you go first better. So and making your opponent not be able to use their extra deck is pretty nice. So Artifact Scythe, the Artifact Engine's pretty great. Side out, you know, your Kaijus, for example, you know, you're going second cards, you know, Raigeki, Dark Hole, whatever. Side out, you're going first cards. I mean, side out, you're going second cards. I mean, side in, you're going first cards, and that's kind of the strategy. So then you have your Artifact Lancia. It extends like the Artifact Engine, but like this is just a hand trap. It's a light level 5. I always put this in Cyber Dragons because it is a light level 5, and like anything, like, and this is like good against evenly matched. This is good against Invoke. This is good against so many different cards, like so many cards banish. This says no. Like Lancia is just a really, really great hand trap, and like I said, it is a continuation of like, you know, the Artifact Engine, so it's like really great. This is one of my new favorites. This is an oldie but a goodie. You guys have seen me put this in Cyber Dragons before, so like it just depends on the format and depends on how I decide to play the deck, and, you know, etc. So Swift Scarecrow, it's a machine duplication target. It's a level 1 machine duplication target at that, so you can go into a Princess Sprite off of it. Like if you like have to normal summon this thing, and then you machine dupe, and then you go into Princess Sprite, and then try to rip into Power Bond, for example. Really good, but really its main aim is to like lets you go first and not die. Like, I mean, this is a hand trap that says you don't take any battle damage, and then yeah, it ends the battle phase too. Negates the attack, ends the battle phase. Not only is this a machine duplication target though, but it is a Power Bond target. Yes, because like I explained earlier, your Parasicroid only requires 2 machine type monsters with the same name. Swift Scarecrow and Swift Scarecrow is two monsters with the same name, so you can power bond with two Swift Scarecrows into Parapsychroid. Like, it's pretty cool. So like, I mean, the deck works together. It really does. And then I'm too honest because, you know, going first, it's kind of cool to just like, if you have this and just have a monster out and they decide to attack, just be able to make that monster kind of eat shit. It's pretty great. And then I just put Battle Faders in. Guys, I put straight like going first cards in the side deck. I just kind of looked at this and I was like, well, I was kind of looking at the main deck and I was like, what cants this out? Like, what cants this out technically? I mean, Kaiju's out anything. Chimera Techs help you extend after you out. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm like looking at this deck, you know, playing Raigeki, playing Dark Hole, playing everything, and I'm like, this can kind of just out anything. So the side deck really just needs to be going first cards, and that's exactly how I made it. If you guys aren't cool with that, you can always, you know, put different cards in here. Like if you guys don't like Battle Faders, for example, you can put in a Solemn Brigade, like, you know, 2 Scoldings or 2 Strikes and a Warning, or, you know what I mean, like something like that. Warning plus 2 other or 3 other, you know, Solemn cards, like a Solemn Warning plus 3 Strikes. That would be good for going first. But like, I mean, to each their own. Like whatever you guys build your side deck as, like, I mean, good for you. And I hope that your card choices work the best for you. I feel like this works the best for me, just because especially if you don't get into your draw cards to try to see Power Bond. There's been times testing this where like I'll like side in Scarecrows and Faders and be able to like stall enough to be able to get into cards that I need, like whether it be Power Bond, whether it be Galaxy Soldier, whether it be Instant Fusion, whether it be like anything, like so whatever completes your hands. Like treat these cards that in the battle phase is like a space, almost like an upstart to try to get you there. So like that's how I see it. That's how I view the deck. And I really like how this deck turned out. I actually kind of like this, and like how everything, you know, kind of blends together. I actually kind of almost like that more than my rank 5 creation that I made. I don't know. This deck's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I don't know which version I like more. I really don't. All right, so we're gonna shuffle this a lot because I had everything kind of mixed up between, you know, monsters and spells. Well, I don't play any traps, so I guess just monsters and spells. Like I had everything, you know, divided for the deck profile. But it really seems like any hand you get in this deck going second, like, is usually really good. Like, I mean, this is really good, believe it or not, because I just opened a core. Like I just opened like look, I mean, this may not look like the best hand, but it's actually a really good hand. It's like any hand I open up with this deck going second, it's godly. I don't know if it's just me or what, but like, I mean, send core, activate repair plants. I mean, ash it, please ash this thing, ash my repair plant. Like, promise me you will. I mean, like that's how I feel. And it depends. Like right here, what you search out for repair plant depends on your hand. I don't have any lights. If I wanted to risk it for the biscuit, I would go Galaxy Soldier. You do not want to search the Cyber Dragon though, because that bricks your core out. We're assuming that our opponent has a monster, by the way. Let's just use this to represent our opponent's monster. If it's a problem, you can always search a Galaxy Soldier right now, even. Like, I mean, not Galaxy Soldier, sorry, a Jizukiru right now, even. So, like right now I could search, I can repair plant into a Jizukiru, and let's just say this is number 38, for example, the negate spells. I could be like, nope, no spell negation for me. Like that simple, and my opponent still has a monster and I don't. Banish this and then go into, from here what you can do this. This says Cyber Dragon monster. You can banish core for a core. You don't have to go into Cyber Dragon. You can go core for core, and then you go double machine duplication, which will summon all 3 Cyber Dragons from the deck, because machine duplication is not once per turn. So you get all 3 of these guys. I mean, you're kind of off to the races. Like, I mean, you can go into Chimera Tech this way. I mean, like, this is simple. Like, if your opponent doesn't have anything else, I mean, I imagine they would, but like, I mean, just this right here is game. You know what I mean? That is 8,300 attack just right there, and I still have 2 cards in hand. I haven't activated Reasoning yet. I haven't Desires for that, you know, that extra card yet. You know, that +1 yet. Like, this is a really good go in second hand, and I'm not even gonna edit, guys. I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna be able to like shuffle this deck up and go and simulate a going second hand, and it's probably going to be pretty good. And I might even get like a Power Bond. I'm probably going to jinx myself right now, actually, but it's probably going to be a decent enough going second hand. And what do you know? I mean, look at this. I mean, look, I can Raigeki you and then Power Bond you. That is broken. This deck going second is incredible. And like, once again, I don't know if it's just my luck, but I mean, I am Yu-Gi-Oh! Jesus and all, but look, okay, like Cyber Dragons are just a fantastic going second deck, and if you do build this deck, always go second, and if you do build this deck, I would highly recommend doing what I did and what I showed you guys, and side deck for going first. But that is the entire deck profile, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I'm sorry for the wait. I had to tighten everything up, and you know, I'm busy with other things, and I still have a 6th Sam deck I have to learn, I still have a long list of videos to make, and I have a lot of skits planned for you guys, and I just have like a lot of stuff planned for you guys, and not enough time to do it. It's just sad. But I really hope that you enjoyed this deck profile anyways. This deck is always really fun to play. It's always fun to build. It's always fun to mess with. It's always fun to show you guys what I've done with this deck, you know, in like my mad science lab kind of way. It's just always really fun. So once again, I really hope that you enjoyed it. Until next time, guys, be sure to dick slap that like button and subscribe. Subscribe.